That's amazing. It really is amazing.
I know, yeah.
And you're laughing at me.
Because you're so surprised.
I did not know it was going to be like that.
Well, the comparison.
Usually I use 4 main methods to preserve my food. So canning is the main one, and then I do some fermentation, I do dehydration, and I also freeze foods. And the new method that I'm going to try today is freeze drying. I want to thank our sponsor for this video. It is Harvest Right. They are the makers of at-home freeze dryers. I'm going to leave a link to Harvest Right freeze dryers in the description of this video. It is my affiliate link, and what that means is if you choose to purchase a freeze dryer from Harvest Right, I do receive a commission for that purchase. However, it costs nothing additional for you. Before I get started, I really want to go into some of the benefits of the freeze dryer and why you might want to choose this method of food preservation over others. It has an extremely long shelf life. We're talking 25 years you could store freeze-dried fruits and vegetables, which is just crazy. Another benefit of freeze drying is that it retains a lot of the nutrition in the food. You can preserve at room temperature meats, also things like eggs and other liquids. All of those things can be freeze-dried.
One of the things that really intrigued me about the freeze dryer is the ability to store meats at room temperature for an extended period of time. I am very familiar with dehydration. I have a lot of experience with that. And when you dehydrate ground beef, it does not rehydrate well. So I wanted to try freeze drying as an alternative to see if I could get better results than dehydration. When you're freeze drying ground beef or any meat, you can do it raw or you can do it cooked. And I chose to do it cooked because I felt like it would be easier on the back end to just add water rather than rehydrating and then cooking it. So what you see here is I actually drained all of the excess liquid and fat out of my meat. One of the first things to go bad when you're storing foods long term is fats and oils. So I made sure I got all of the excess fat out of the meat. It's actually a really lean meat, and most of it was just some extra beef liquid. Our freeze dryer is stored out in our garage, so I went out there to get the trays out of the freeze dryer, and then I just placed the ground beef onto the trays, and I'm going to spread it out. And I found out that 6 pounds of ground beef was the perfect amount for the size trays that I have. So I have a medium size freeze dryer, and I just got lucky. I kind of guessed and did 6 pounds, and it was just the right amount that I needed without overfilling the trays or anything like that. So at this point, you have a couple of options. You can either take the trays and stick them directly into the freeze dryer, or you can freeze your trays first and then put them in the freeze dryer. And we chose to freeze the trays first because we found that it cuts off a significant amount of time that the trays take to freeze dry.
So to start the freeze dryer cycle, we're going to do some ground beef today that we've already put in the freezer. So it's frozen, and then we're going to put it in here to freeze dry it. So you hit the start button on this Harvest Right, and what that'll do is it'll start cooling this chamber down to freezing temperature. So that, and then 10 or 15 minutes later, we'll put the trays in, and then it'll start the whole cycle. So simple as that. Yep, good. This green deal is the vacuum pump, and this is the premium vacuum pump from Harvest Right, and then over here is the drain valve. So Harvest Right has made this incredibly easy to operate. There are, of course, some important steps to remember, but essentially the vacuum pump hooks into the freeze dryer at this port here. This performs two functions, right? It's in open position right now when this valve is parallel to the direction that the pipe is going, and then when you flip it perpendicular, that's closed. So you close it when you're operating your freeze dryer, and then you open it to release the vacuum and then allow the liquids as they defrost to flow out. Okay, the meat's done, so we're going to open the drain valve and what it's doing, because of the vacuum, it's sucking air in to release the vacuum. Now that that's good, we can open this.
What does it feel like?
Well, just crumbly, just I don't know, like crumbs,
Oh wow,
like breadcrumbs.
that's cool.
There's your meat.
Don't drop those.
Prized possession here, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm leaving the drain valve open because as it defrosts and the ice in here melts, it's going to drain in the bucket. And defrosting chamber. Okay. Keep door closed. 2-hour defrost. Okay. Well, 600 grams. Okay.
I'm ready, Mom.
In order to get the longest shelf life out of the freeze-dried ground beef, we stored some of it in Mylar bags. And Mylar bags are great because they are barriers to moisture, light, gas, and smells. It is basically the gold standard for long-term food storage, and when you put in an oxygen absorber, which is what Cam is putting in right here, it makes the food last as long as possible. The only thing to remember about Mylar bags is that even though they are puncture resistant, they are not puncture proof. So if you put something on them, it could puncture them and ruin the seal, as well as they are not rodent proof. So the best way to store them is in a rodent proof container additionally. So I just store mine in 5-gallon buckets with a Gamma seal lid. So here is the finished product of the ground beef. This is 2 pounds in this jar, and we are going to make some spaghetti for dinner with this. I didn't put this in the Mylar bags because I knew I wanted to use it right away and try it out and see how it was. Big pan? Yeah. You got rehydrated really fast. Oh my goodness! Wow! It's literally been like 30 seconds and this stuff has rehydrated, which is hugely different than just plain dehydration. And it tastes exactly the same. Like texturally exactly the same. That's amazing. It really is amazing.
I know, yeah.
And you're laughing at me.
Because you're so surprised.
I did not know it was gonna be like that.
Well, the difference, yeah.
Like
dehydrated.
dehydrated food has a different texture, but freeze dried does not.
Yeah.
use this, doesn't it? That's so cool. You wanna try it? You know it's gonna taste the same? I did not know that.
Well, I believed him. Yeah, when the manual said it.
Okay, so I'm gonna drain the liquid out of this now because I used way too much liquid. This is my first time doing this, so I had no idea. Just gonna drain that, and then we'll use it in the spaghetti.
Thank you. I've already measured it out for you.
What do you guys mean?
I slide that plate in there, buddy girl. Stuck together. Yeah. Want to save some of this pasta? Yeah, try it and tell us what you think.
Yeah.
This wasn't even freeze dried, Mom. You're tricking us.
I just want you to tell me if you can tell the difference.
I can.
I think it tastes better.